Battle control initialized.
Hey there, everybody, it's another match that I'll be casting. Let's see what's going on here for the Chinese Titans. We have on the top right Hans selecting as Iraq. Maybe let's check it out later. But on the bottom left, we also have Stromberg. Again, both of them are very well known in the CA community to fellow Chinese players, and it does appear both of them are randoming uh each other. Like both went for random, so it does appear like Hans going straight for the capture on the side, and Stromberg is securing various points of the map, and he is sending out one rifle in order for him to not be surprised what faction Hans is. That's what Stromberg doing his right here, but because he did attack the barrel over there, Hans kinda knows that Stromberg is either allies or Soviet, and it does appear he will be able to pick off this one engineer over here. That's a goodbye to him. And after I presume after picking out that engineer right there, like he is aware what faction Hans is, and also Hans now knows what faction Stromberg is. So the cat's out of the bag. It does appear like there's a lot of rifles over here being prepared, and another rifle over here trying to look out for some sort of information. But here Hans is securing this oiler here, but sad to say, the one engineer that was sent to capture that one died in the process. So not much we could say about that one. Does appear Hans will be getting good information. I'm not 100% sure what these rifles will be doing. A turret's been placed, has been prepared for both players. So right now, Stromberg is just trying to look. Ooh. I don't know if he did that intentionally. What I mean with that, like, did he know there's gonna be a guy going through here? That's actually interesting. Like, the game sense, perhaps, or maybe it's just coincidental. So anyway, we see we see Hans going for a war factory and go for the early expansion, whereas Stromberg stayed in his main base going for a triple ref build, while the war factory will be making the vehicles for him. No, he pulled out the scout tank first, and then for a fourth ore truck for his side. Interesting, and we do see a BTR as the first vehicle for Hans, and that's an almost dead scout tank. Unfortunately for Hans, that did not pick off the scout tank, and the scout tank pretty much provided information to Stromberg. But now we do hear 3 rockets being placed inside the BTR. This scout tank right here will be coming back. And it does appear Stromberg has 3 pillboxes, all prepared to excuse me, all prepared to defend the refinery. Hans does the same thing here, but this one's just a bit to the side. Ooh, are you gonna fight? Are you gonna fight, or are you gonna risk? Oh no, what is this? What is this? Hans? You're really risking? Man, he threw 1.5k in that. That was 3 rockets and 1 BTR, I think. Or it should be. Yeah, like Hans threw 1.5k. Man, that was a good pickoff by Stromberg, but I'm not sure if he was paying attention there. Was there something he would lose out if he undeployed? Like if he showed what's inside the BTR, would he lose out on something? I'm not entirely sure. So the thought process there was he wanted to keep, but I did not see any sort of movement. But again, like the sounds in this game is global. If you have no vision here, but there's like gunshots tank shells, rifle shots whatsoever, even if you don't have vision, even if your base or your camera is right here, you would hear it. So there's zero reason for Hans to not react to that one. That was really weird for me. And we are now seeing a thief play. This is interesting, but it does appear they're gonna be hitting each other. No, there's a rifle on the side. I did not even notice that one. Man, that scout tank is now dead. Anyway, so a couple of thieves pushing forward. One of the reasons for them is just to pick off harvesters or MCVs. But in this case, I think he's preparing all of the thieves just to scout out the expansion points. That's one use of it. It does appear Stromberg will be facing a defensive perimeter over here. It's not going to be worth it for him. So this is pretty much prepared to face off any sort of harassment. So far, it's not going to be good. And right now, the 5 rockets have reached their rendezvous point. Right now, Hans is just scouting. Okay, are there any locations here with a defense? I think he saw this. No, he did not. Okay. He did not saw that one. But for the most part, his vision is like over here. So he would not be thinking too much about this. That's why he's gonna be moving forward. Because if they were like right here, similar to this one, he would not be pushing in. And the thief is gonna be doing something over here. It seems. He's gonna try to steal. But again, because of the lack of vision of seeing that one. Yeah, the lack of vision on that one is really bad. He threw away that one thief over there. Unfortunately. And with the appearance of Tanya, Hans has prepared 2 hinds. And another thief is dead. I feel bad for thieves. No. Anyway. So, tech level check. This is tier 3. This is tier 3. Stromberg has cryo warheads right now. And Hans is going for an iron curtain. So, as far as that's a lot of V2s. Hans is no he has only 1, 2 heavy tanks, it seems. And there's 5 medium tanks from Stromberg. It does appear that Stromberg will be having a better case here when they actually fight. And Tanya has now gone inside commando, gone inside the IFVs. There's 4 hinds. Okay, Soviet trivia for you guys. You only need 1 hind to kill off a IV that doesn't have a anti-air resist. That's a little bit excessive, but it did the job. At least he doesn't have to worry about any sort of shenanigans over there. So this detachment right here is just waiting for the perfect opportunity. I think it's gonna be bringing in Kurovs. Drop over here, drop over here, drop over here. Try to destroy it, and then have the detachment try to provide damage as well. And right now, Iron Curtain has been detected. We do see a chronosphere being up here for like 1 minute and so. Both of them are not moving out. They're still in the main base +5, like somewhat +5. It does appear this harvester is gonna go down, and there she goes. And an AA gun has been placed. It does appear that Hans will not be coming back there. Anyway, Stromberg doesn't have to worry though, because there's 2 Chrono Prison. And right now he's still scouting for information like where are the troops? Where are the troops? Who says that? Troop crawler, yeah. Yeah, he's looking out for like that, and also the MCV, because he scouted out this area earlier and he saw an MCV. So right now he's just thinking, okay, I need to see if the MCV is still there, and it is still there. It does appear like Han's gonna go for a heavy air build, and we do see a couple of tanks right now. There's 4 V2s right there, and it does appear this rifle as part of the all units gather around command, sending here in the middle, passed through a thief that was here and got a vet too. Feel bad for the thief this game. Right now, there's nothing over here, so that's what I'm thinking. Is gonna be sending these guys on the back to destroy these and perhaps the ore refinery. Anyway, if you're gonna ask me, I'm thinking Stromberg's well prepared. Yeah, he has 10k above. Tanya's going first. What are you doing, Tanya? No. She said. Anyway, with the vetoes in the back, are there any micros over here? There's no micros, and it does appear Boris will be dealing a lot of damage. However, there are a couple of prisons over there. Some of these hands will be gone, will be gone. And there's way too many hinds over there. Boris is dead. And right now, there's way too many hinds for them to deal with the damage over here. One harvester here is gone. And right now, Stromberg is trying to micro. He does not have the numbers in order to wipe off all of the forces over here. Unfortunately, even with the 10k money, 10k value, it was not enough. However, they're just right now at a standstill. It disappeared. There's gonna be a Colonel Prison ready for Stromberg, but right now the bombing has commenced. Unfortunately, they were too close. And this Colonel Prison is dead. However, there's another. No, this Kirov is dead. However, they did do good damage over here. This one is not moving for some reason. However, right now we are seeing the siege has now begun. Couple of hinds over here. It does not seem like he will not be using the Iron Curtain, because if you don't know, Iron Curtain can just remove the Colonel Prison can just remove the Iron Curtain. Sad to say, the detachment right there on the bottom was not that successful, and right now Stromberg is now forced to pull back a little bit, try to focus like two prisons, attack a singular target. That BTR was gone right away. God, no! Stop doing that, Hans. No! Yeah, well, that's the problem with like attack moving. Anyway, it does not look good. Oh my god, what is going on? Hans, no! You're trying to micro the hind to go back into the airfield, but you accidentally deployed the Desolator. This is so sad. I think Hans is now being steamrolled into destruction, but it's not enough. Even if that was successful, the Colonel Prison is there to pick up the pace. So if you're curious what's going on here, the building armor has Colonel Prison has a 15% multiplier towards the airfield. I did the math, and like Dark did not confirm it, but if I'm not wrong, it would take 66 seconds for one prison to wipe off one building. That's what's going on here. But it does appear Colonel Prisons are gonna come in here trying to wipe off the stuff out of existence. There's no other movement on the sides. Yeah, like I said in the previous video when they were fighting, the only way for you to counter like this mass. Oh! It's a 10k bomb! It's a 10k bomb! We ain't over yet. They're still on this, boys. Anyway, is what I mentioned before, that you may need to have a lot of infantry, because infantry supposedly they cost 10 seconds if the target has full HP in order for a Colonel Prison to wipe them out. So you don't really go for vehicle spam against them if they've reached critical mass, but it does appear it's gonna be just moving in. That IFB is dead. There's a chrono prison over there. That BTR is dead. It's gone. So we see two prisons right here by Stromberg and a couple of troops. 20k versus 10k. It's just a question of who will be the first one to croak. Because so far, this poses a problem. Like current prisons, when they amass, it will cause a problem. Anyway, we see here Sukhoi is running around. Should be there trying to scout out if there's any harvesting operations, but sad to say, there's an AA gun over there. He will not be able to kill off. And right now we are seeing a lot of rifles by Hans trying to adapt and kill off Stromberg. Nice pick off. That's a dead Sukhoi. That's a really good pick off right there. Probably the one Hans gonna be needing when they actually fight, because again, there's a lot of rifles. The rifles will be the one who will be doing the tanking right there for the tanks, right? They'll be taking the shots of the prison. It does appear like both of them are now on equal terms. Not quite. That's an interesting play, but as I said, Chrono Prison can ignore the IC. They have to be very careful. Yep, that's what I mean. That's what I mean. That's what you use the infantry. Use the infantry, attack the shots from the Crown Prison. What? 2 Crown Prison down. 3 Crown Prisons are down. And it does appear Hans is now pushing in. Temporal incursion is over here, but our Stockboys were able to wipe off a considerable amount of troops right there. And it does appear that Hans will be taking this under his belt. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is a successful counter to the Chrono Prison critical mass. You don't go full vehicle mode against that one. You make a lot of rifles, like just rifles. The $100 infantry is very useful to tank off the shots for your tank. You know, it's like one of those cases where the tank has done its job, and now you, as the small guy, will be taking over the role for him. GG has been called. Really happy for. Oh, that was actually loud. Really happy for Hans there, like being able to counter the strategy Stromberg was doing, like mass Chrono Prison. And I think the thing that helped him win there was over here. I'm not sure, but it's weird where like none of the Chrono Prison attacked the bomber, right? I'm not sure if that's intentional because rocket soldiers are able to shoot down that bomber, but for some reason it was able to pass over them, right? I don't know. I may be forgetting. I may be forgetting that they were erasing something, but because of that, Hans was able to come back a little bit, right? Like he was still making desolators at that point, but that should have been like the time that he should be making rifles or something like that. Anyway, that's it for today, and I will see you on the next one.
Battle control terminated.